Well, today on our show, we are going to have a Gale conversation. Stay tuned on the next episode of Brainweb. Roundy, cue the music. Well, that was pretty epic.
Yeah, it was.
So, how long has it been?
A long time.
I'd say a good 7 months.
Has it been that long?
Since we posted something.
Was it October the last time?
Oh, it might have been that. I know we did one, and we talked about Star Wars, but we never posted it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think there's 2 we haven't posted.
Should we say spoilers about Star Wars, then?
Yeah.
So we're back, and I am one of your co-hosts, John Norton.
And I am the other co-host, Jesse Roundy.
I was almost going to give myself a nickname, like a middle nickname, like John the Mad Dog Norton.
I was thinking the Wanted one for some reason. I don't know why that came to mind.
Why do you always have such
John the Wanted one?
You have such better ideas than I do so often. So we we're back, and we are brand new in the sense that we're newer than we were yesterday.
We have new recording equipment.
We have one mic that we're sharing between the two of us.
Yeah, it's a little weird. We're sitting real close.
I know. I get to smell the musk of your beard.
Yeah.
We'll be getting more, hopefully, someday soon, where we each have a microphone. Wouldn't that be grand?
Yeah.
It'd be like Wizard of Oz.
It'd be like a movie.
No, it'd be like Wizard of Oz.
Why?
Because it's black and white, then you go into color.
Oh, I guess.
And you're like, oh, this is how it should have been. So we're going to be talking about a whole lot of shit. I'll be conversing and telling a story about my recent Comic-Con experience in Las Vegas. And then that's about it.
Yeah, sounds right. We'll brainweb.
Yeah, we'll brainweb the fuck out of it.
Yes.
So, anything do you want me to start it off with that, or is there?
Sure, go ahead.
Another topic.
No, I don't have anything that I'm chomping at the bit to get to.
Awesome. So, as you all know me, I am an artist extraordinaire.
I like that term.
Thank you. I've been going to more and more conventions. I went to a video game convention here in Salt Lake, which was okay. It was fun. I think I barely made back my table money, my booth money for what I paid for it. So I think next time I do that, I want to do it with somebody just to cut the cost of the booth, because you don't even need a lot of room there.
Yeah. You did get a sweet Thundercat sword.
Fuck yeah, I did. Maybe
post a picture.
I will post a picture of it. But then I went to, when was it? Like almost 3 weeks ago, I went to Las Vegas to go to the amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con. And I'll tell you what.
Tell me.
It was pretty okay. No, it was pretty amazing. It was fun. I had a friend down there who I stayed with, and she lives like 5 minutes away from the convention center. But with the traffic in Vegas, it still took us like 25 minutes just to get there. I got there on a Thursday. I drove down by myself in my Mazda, my car. Set up on Thursday, and then it started and went on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was a good convention. Didn't have any guests there. No major guests aside from some comic book people. Kevin Eastman, who created Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I saw him.
Did you talk to him?
No.
No signatures?
No. Rob Liefeld was there. Well, he was scheduled to be there. I guess fucker didn't show up. And Chris Claremont, longtime writer of X-Men, did classic stories like the Phoenix Saga and Days of Future Past. He was there. And And he actually, somebody signed one of my print. They bought a print that I did, which was a recreation of an old Jim Lee classic.
Yeah, I saw that.
That Claremont wrote, and that person went and got that signed by him. And I had them come back so I could see it, and I took a picture of it. It was pretty awesome. They said, they talked to him. Oh, look, my cat had just jumped on you.
Clawing my back.
Yeah. That little fucker does that. But where was I? So, yeah, Chris Claremont said, like, he remembers kind of writing that issue, but I kind of wanted to go over there, and because he was really close to me, I could have just, like, and he usually had a long line. I almost wanted, like, oh, now's my chance. Go over there and get something signed. But I didn't. I made some pretty good money. I definitely made my table money back. I definitely made back the gas money that I spent to get down there, and then the supplies that, the prints and everything that I bought, I got all the money back from that. So I came back in the bonus about $180. Not enough to live on, but certainly makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, it's definitely nice it's in the bonus.
Yeah.
Or in the positive.
I mean, if I can just make my money back, I feel it's a good trip.
Yeah, it's worth it, especially with all the contacts, the networking, all the opportunities that open up to you from, just talking to the other guys and everything.
Yeah. I talked to a few guys. Tyler Kirkham, who's a pretty big-time artist. He was there. Ryan Otley was there, who does Invincible. I didn't talk to him.
Yeah.
I was going to have another guy, like there's a whole bunch of artists, and there was this booth with a couple of guys, and there was one artist there who was drawing kind of in the back where he wasn't talking. It was almost like don't talk to the artist, because they had another dude up there conversing with the Comic-Con goers, whatever that term is, and talking to them and kind of making the deals and selling everything. It was kind of weird, but then it's like, oh, do you want to meet the artist? I'm like, well, sure, and he was really nice, and they were doing convention sketches and drawings for pretty cheap, and he was a pretty good artist, and I wanted him, and I was talking to them about how I'd want him to maybe draw a character of my own character, Bliss, and maybe I'd do that as an alternate cover too, and I kind of explained that to him. And
who was this again? What was his name?
I don't know his name. I think I have his card, but I don't know his name. No one that I really like, just someone like everybody else, just kind of an artist trying to make it. But I never ended up doing that because I had the money, but it just didn't happen. I got busy. But guess what? Guess what I saw there? An actor.
An actor. Michael Dorn.
No, bigger. Bigger as in more famous.
Patrick Stewart.
Bigger.
Brad Pitt.
Close, but lower. He's been in a comic book movie. He was
Hugh Jackman.
Nope. Oh, I'd love to see Hugh Jackman. He was in a couple of comic book movies. He was actually set to play Superman at one point.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Really, the vampire. He's a vampire. I don't know if you knew that.
When? Since when?
There's like an old photo of like some dude from, I don't know what time period it's from. I don't know, it's from like the 1920s or the 1800s, but it looks just like him. Supposedly him and Keanu Reeves are vampires.
Makes sense.
They have old photos of people that look similar.
But there was like the girl next to me. She was like saying like, "Oh, did you hear? Like Nicolas Cage is here. He lives here in Vegas." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And like she was really excited to see him, and she kept like looking for him. And then she finally taps me. He's like, "Oh, here he comes!" And the way the setup was, like all the artist tables were kind of. It wasn't a big hall down there that we had. It's much smaller than the San Diego and the Salt Lake one. But all the artist tables kind of were on the outlying, the borders of the hall. So behind me was nothing, just exits and a wall. So I had plenty of room behind me. The booths were really scooted close together, like touching each other, which was kind of annoying. They were only 6 foot long. The video game one was an 8-foot table and had like backdrops and barriers in between each one. It was really nice. But anyways, she's like, here he comes. He's walking behind us. And he comes strolling down the way, and they were like, oh, look cool. And he was holding this big piece of art. Cool. But he was walking exactly how you'd think Nicolas Cage would walk. He just knew he was like the coolest thing there. He had his sunglasses on, kind of had a
sunglasses indoors.
Yeah, kind of had
a tacky.
Kind of had a strut. Not when you're a superstar like Nick Cage. Kind of had a strut to his step, you know. He's just kind of walking how cool he was. Then the girl was like, "Oh, that's bullshit. He walked behind us. He didn't even see our stuff." I'm like, "I know, that's bullshit."
Did he have like a security guards with him or anything?
Yeah, he had one security dude who might have been. I don't know if he was there specifically for the convention or his own private personal. But there was somebody walking with him. And I guess he bought something. That guy Tyler Kirkham, I follow him on Instagram, and I guess he bought something from him for his kid, and he posted it and everything. So that was fun. It was fun being in Vegas, partied around a little bit. But then, some fucked up shit happened, Roundy.
Yeah.
Some fucked up shit. So, if you are one of my personal close friends and you follow me on actual Facebook, you heard probably some of the story, but you're probably not aware of what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened.
Can't wait.
So, let's see. I drove down there on Thursday, was there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Watched an episode of Game of Thrones down there. It's pretty awesome. Ate Olive Garden takeout while I did. And then was heading back home on Monday. I left around 11 a.m. or something like that. Stopped off in Cedar City, visited a friend for just like 20 minutes, picked up some food, and started on the road again. And I was getting around to Beaver. Beaver, Roundy, the city Beaver.
I have a shirt that says I love Beaver.
There's a shirt that has a map of Utah because there's another city called Fillmore.
Fillmore Beaver?
So it just had Fillmore and then Beaver. Anyways, I'm coming up on there, then suddenly my check engine light goes on. And then pretty soon after that, like the car starts kind of shaking, just doing some weird shit.
Is it because you forgot to put oil in your car?
I don't have to answer that question yet. But yes.
Continue.
That's exactly what happened.
Didn't that happen to us before?
No. What happened, we went on a trip to Vegas like years ago, and I think we knew we had to put oil in, and we did. I think we put too much, and it was like burning, like it started smoking.
But we waited, though. We got all the way to like Cedar City before we put the oil in or something like that, right?
All I remember is my truck at the time smoking on the freeway.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the excess oil on top of the engine at that point. Anyways, so luckily I was right there coming up to Beaver. So I was able to get off the freeway, pull into a gas station. I pretty much thought it was the oil. I had no indicators or anything that said, like, hey, fucker, stupid ass, like, put oil in your car. And let me just say, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to own up to this, you know, I just don't have that piece of the brain in me sometimes to think about these things. Lori is great at it, and she thinks about it. I don't. I should have checked it before I even went to Las Vegas. It was a long, hot drive. I didn't have an air conditioner in that car. And it sucked on the way down, mostly. But I pulled into a gas station. They directed me. You know, I tried to put some oil in it. That didn't work. They directed me to this like mom and pop auto repair that was just like a block away. I made it there. Really nice people. And the guy was like, "Looks like you're low on oil, so I'll just give you a quick oil change." You know. But then he comes back to me a little bit later. It was taking a long time. He's like, "Well, before I did that, I figured I should run one more test just in case." He did a compression test, something like that, and whatever I did, since it was so low on oil, like blew a piston in the engine. And that just makes the engine no good forever. So Well, not forever. Like, you'd have to rebuild the engine or get a new engine. Basically, my car was dead, and that car wasn't worth, like, getting a new engine. So I was stuck down there, and it sucked. Because I just paid off that. I mean, I paid off that car like a year ago, so it's been a little while.
Ouch.
I've had it for like 7 years, but it still pisses me off of how stupid I was. Because now we have to get a new car and figure out what we're going to do. But that's not the end of the story. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I called Lori, I called my dad. My sister is dating a dude who drives a tow truck, and they were willing to come get me for about $300 or so. But it was going to be like a while because he had to drive from Salt Lake down there. And this is already, almost 5 o'clock in the evening, between 4 and 5. And I was going to have to wait a long time. I was trying to decide what to do. I was like, maybe I'll call my friend Becca, because Cedar City's only like 45 minutes away. She'll come get me. I'll stay in Cedar City for the night again at her place. But then what I decided to do is, instead of getting a tow truck, because I called some other tow truck places around the area, and they said that it was going to be about $900 to tow my car.
$900 just to get you back to Salt Lake?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, no thanks, click, asshole.
Wow, that's a lot.
So I'm sitting at like a Burger King that's part of a gas station there, eating a chocolate milkshake because it was hot, and then I realized milk was a bad choice. Just kidding. I wanted like a Slurpee, but their Slurpee machine was gone. Or an Icy, if you don't go to 7-Eleven. But I'm sitting there, and then I see down the way, there's a U-Haul. I see a U-Haul sign. Or I don't even know if I saw the sign or if I just thought of it. But I'm like, wait a minute, they have like car dolly towing things, So I'm like, maybe I can just rent a U-Haul with one of those things, and maybe it'll be cheaper. And that's what I did. It was only $225 or something. And I'm like, why don't more people fucking do this? The mom and pop automotive place, as nice as they were, you think they would have known about that. And the next day when I was talking to the guy who got me hooked up with the U-Haul, he knew those people. And I'm like, why don't they fucking tell people about this instead of sending me to a guy with $900 towing fees? Anyways, but it was around 5 o'clock, and U-Haul didn't open up again until 5. But Lori was able to go online and get it ordered for me, and I just have to stay overnight at a motel. There's a few there. And I did that, and it was about $80 to do that. And, it would have been the same if my sister's boyfriend would have come down and got me, but then I was just tired and would have had to wait, and then it's another 4-hour drive back to Salt Lake. So I'm like, I'll just do this, and I'll just be comfortable and get some rest and everything. So my friend Becca, she was going to come up either way and spend some time with me. Just, she knew I was kind of upset and depressed. She came down, she picked me up, took me to dinner, and here's another part of where the bad news comes in. So I had all my art supplies and stuff for the convention in the back seat of my car. And this was in the middle of nowhere. I mean, granted, it's a small town where nothing happens, I'm sure. But I'm like, I just don't feel comfortable. Like, what if someone broke into my car here? And they stole all my prints and took all my shit. So I took the majority of my stuff, mostly my prints. I put them in a suitcase that I had. I don't even know if I put them in the suitcase, but I put everything in the back of her trunk along with my suitcase. While I was still trying to figure things out, I'm in her car, and I'm on the phone with, I think, Lori, and then we decide to go through... She decides she wants to take her car through a car wash.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So she does that. We go to dinner. She drops me off at the motel. I'm getting my stuff, and Like, I think my bag was, I first noticed that was wet. I'm like, shit, did like my mousse or whatever did that explode? Did that get everywhere? What happened? And then like I saw it was everywhere. And then Beck was like, oh no, I think my trunk leaked from the car wash. And we're pretty sure, I mean, that had to have been what had happened. So my suitcase with all my clothes that were dirty, really, that was pretty much soaked. And then I had all these 11x17 prints, like in a stack, and those all got soaked.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Did any original art get ruined?
No, thank God. Anything I had in a protective sleeve or in a portfolio was fine. So there's a bunch of stuff that I have in these sheets, these plastic sheets, and those came out okay. But a lot of the big 11x17s were soaked more along the edges. A bunch of the stuff in the middle were kind of protected. But you know how paper is when it gets wet. And it's like you're peeling it away. I was trying to salvage as much as I could, so I separated everything. I should have taken a picture. Oh, this would have been perfect for this. I should have taken a picture. But I had all these prints just like laid out in my motel room, just scattered on the floor, and it was a 2-queen bed room. I had it spread out on one of the beds, so I only had like this one little walkway to go to the bathroom and get out the door. So fortunately, like, there's some that are the important ones that were only kind of got wet around the edges. I think I may try and salvage those. I may be able to like iron them out or flatten them up a little bit, because now they're just wrinkly.
Yeah.
They're not really that ruined. There are some that I just have to throw away, but I'm going to try and salvage them because I'll just have to throw them away anyways. But all my smaller 8.5 by 11 prints, I had those in a binder, and those were all safe, luckily. And all my original art were in portfolios, so that was safe. If it ruined the pages I did for my second comic book, I probably would have cried all night. I don't know what I would have done. I would have been so fucking depressed, but luckily that stuff was taken care of. So next day comes. The motel had a breakfast, but I didn't want to get up for it, so I missed that. I got my U-Haul. I got the car towing dolly, whatever it's called, hitched up to it. And Lori Olden ordered me only a 10-foot U-Haul, but they didn't have that. So I got the biggest fucking truck that they had. It must have been 25,000 feet long. So fucking long. And then you get, put the car towing behind that. And I didn't have anything in that truck. I should have, I wanted to call people up, like, hey, anybody need some furniture moved? Because I'm on my way. But I didn't. So it was a long drive driving that thing back. And that thing was fucking impossible to get into any gas station, any regular gas station to fill up. I got around, I had to stop and fill up a couple of times, but then I was getting around Provo and I had to stop. It's like, oh, there's a gas station off this exit. But then it was down the street and around a corner, and it was small, and I was taking up 5 spots, and I was trying to hurry. Such a pain in the ass. I did take a picture of that, so I'll probably put that up, because we're going to do put this on YouTube, do a video podcast, so there will be some visual aids.
Woohoo!
But I finally got home. I called into work that night because it took forever. I drank a little that night. Well, that's my fucking Comic-Con story. The Comic-Con itself was great. Going to Vegas was fun. We went out, had some good food. But then the return trip was just a nightmare, and it's just, lesson to be learned, kids, is check your fucking oil before you go on a trip. Or just, however long they tell you that you need to check it. However many miles or whatever. So, that's that.
Well, it sucks. Sounds like the universe is just trying to keep you humble.
The universe can lick my dick.
Not your balls?
No, my balls are fine.
All right.
So what have you been up to?
Not much.
What are you drawing? You don't want to tell people, do you?
Yeah, I can't really talk right now. A secret project. Hopefully, we'll be showing stuff soon-ish. I've been drawing the Leonardo DiCaprio I've been working on forever. I've still been...
Oh, that's not done yet?
No, not yet. Shut up. But that's it. Secret project.
So is a secret project, would you say it's more passion or more business? No comment, right?
I don't know how to answer that. It's both. A lot of passion, though. Something I've been wanting to do for a while.
Nice. Cool. My cats are going crazy. What are you... Yeah, we don't have your kid with us. We don't have our mascot.
Yeah,
it's just the two of us.
He's gone today.
It's little nuts.
Yeah.
Nutsoid. What have you been playing any video games?
Well, since the last time we had a podcast, I played a lot of video games. Recently, well, I got through BioShock Infinite, played the first BioShock finally after all these years.
Would you say it was a BioShock to your system of how fun it was?
No.
Cool.
Thanks for the question. Yeah, they were okay. It's a good game. I mean, it's not horrible or anything. I'm not going to complain about it. Both games are good. They're decent. First game's a little long. I thought it dragged a little, but it was okay.
What are you playing now?
Now I'm playing Battlefield Hardline.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know what Battlefield is? The Battlefield series?
Yes, it's like a Call of Duty ripoff, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a ripoff. It feels different. It plays a little different. I would say it's a little bit more... like Call of Duty is a little bit more for the casual player that just wants to jump in, have some fun, have some cool weapons. Battlefield feels a little bit more, I guess, technical. I don't know if that's the right word. A little bit more extensive with their, like, the loadouts, your equipment, your gadgets, things like that. I think they try and go a little bit more realistic than Call of Duty does. But Battlefield Hardline, you're actually like, you're a cop. You're like cops in Florida. So instead of killing people, which is what I wanted to do, I just wanted to run through and shoot people. You're actually trying to like be quiet and arrest people.
You wanted to be a cop and just go around killing people? All lives matter, hashtag.
Wow, nice observation there, John. But yeah, so you have to go around arresting people, and it gets kind of boring. I just feel like I'm playing a kid's game for the single player. I haven't played online yet. There's a couple trophies that you have to get online, so that's what I'll be doing next, I think. I just beat it on, like, you know, the normal difficulty. It's okay. Nothing amazing.
Well, that's cool. What are you going to play next?
I don't know. Since the last podcast, I've played Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, so I have Assassin's Creed Rogue. I might go back to that, because I've played a few games since the Assassin's Creed now. I've played BioShock, Infinite, BioShock. It seems like there's one more in there. Was there something else? Could have sworn there was one more. Oh, Call of Duty. I played Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Which one is Assassin's Creed Rogue? What do you do there?
I haven't played it yet. I don't know.
You don't...
You're in London.
Oh, that's the London one?
Yeah.
Huh. I haven't been playing oh my God, I can't talk. I haven't been playing very many video games myself, because I usually just end up watching TV, Netflix, and chilling. Whatever that means. Just kidding, I know what it means. But I did replay Portal 2. Yeah. It's a really fun game. I really want to play the co-op game, because I haven't done that. I keep trying to get Lori to play it with me, and she's just like, no, let's have sex instead. God damn it.
Poor John. I'll play it with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Should we podcast that? Do a YouTube video of us playing Portal 2.
Yeah, I want to figure out how people like hook up videos and video games and record those and do commentaries on those. I need to figure out that.
Yeah, it has something to do with like screen capturing. I don't know how to do it exactly either. But you should be able to do something where, it's just instead of filming your screen, you actually can capture what's on the screen and, send it to your computer. I don't know how to do it though. I'm not into video.
Well, I've been watching movies. I mean, we saw Batman versus Superman. We saw Captain America: Winter Soldier. I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. Just kidding. What was that called? Out of the Shadows?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Out of the Shadows. You want me to give you a spoiler-free review on that movie?
Sure.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that movie. Lori, I think, got kind of bored. But, I mean, I think it's the closest thing to the cartoons you're going to get. The Turtles were good. I mean, we've talked about the first movie and how we actually enjoyed the first Turtles movie. It doesn't really compare to the 90s movies. But it was a decent movie, and we liked the Turtles. And same Turtles, same voice actors, except the Leonardo. Johnny Knoxville didn't voice him this time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But they were the same. Megan Fox was April O'Neil, and she's fine. I don't get the hate for her. I don't think she's going to win any Oscars anytime soon, but she's a competent young actress, I would say. But what was cool is they had Shredder in there. It was a different actor, totally different guy from the first one. He didn't wear his Shredder armor too much, so that was kind of disappointing. But they had Bebop and Rocksteady, and they were pretty much perfect from what you remember of the cartoons. And Krang was a big surprise. Like, he wasn't in it a ton, but he was, like, again, perfect from the cartoon. Like, when he started talking, I'm like, oh my god. Like, that's Krang from the cartoon. I mean, it's a different voice actor, but the way he talked and the way he spoke was, like, very, very similar. So that was fun. It was just a fun movie. Like, nothing great about it. Again, it's not going to win a Best Picture or anything like that, but it was a fun movie. I didn't really... Casey Jones, I think, could have been better. I like the actor who plays him, because he plays Arrow. Stephen Amell, and he's one of my man crushes. He's very physically fit in a nice way. But he just kind of played himself. Like, he played Stephen Amell. He wasn't Casey Jones to me. And he didn't use any other weapons beside his hockey stick.
No baseball bat?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he had his helmet on or mask on a couple times. So I think they could have done a little bit better with him, but what are you going to do? Uh-oh, you got a message.
During a podcast, jeez.
Jesus, who does that?
We don't need to stop it, I'm okay.
But it was a good movie, so I think you should go see it as soon as you get. I'll probably be buying it.
All right.
I could spoil a few more things, but...
I was trying to think, like, did I buy the first one? I couldn't remember, but I did. I have the first one.
Yes, so did I. So,
why do you have a Southern Thunder tattoo, like, file folder thing over here? What is this?
Well, that's what I put all my pieces of art for my prints for the convention in. But when I got my tattoo, my first tattoo, that's where I got it from, and they gave me a sticker.
Ah, so it's just a sticker you stuck on there?
Right. It's a sticker I stuck on there.
Sticker you stuck on there.
Yep. Well, that took about 20 seconds of conversation time.
I just thought it was interesting.
So I'm working on my
second Kickstarter, which is currently going. Hopefully, by the time we put this up, it will still currently be going. There's actually only 9 days left on it as of today, which is July 8th. We'll probably put a link in it so people, if they are interested, they can check it out. My first Kickstarter I've talked about, and that was a great success. Great success.
I think you said huge success.
Huge success?
I think so.
Anyways, I was successful on that Kickstarter, and I sold a bunch of those comics. I actually sold more comics at the video game convention than at either of the Comic-Cons I've gone to.
That's awesome.
Isn't that funny? But I'm almost done with the second issue. It's all drawn and about 90% inked. I got about 3 pages left to ink and just some backgrounds here and there. And then I need to letter it and do the cover. My brother Robert supplied some line work pencils and inks for an alternate variant cover, which I colored. But then I'm going to draw another cover and see if I can get my co-host here to color that like he did the first one.
Oh, really? I have a question for you with your Kickstarter. So at what point, how do you decide when you've got enough content created that you're ready to go live with your Kickstarter, but not have so much content that you still have to create to feel like you're too overwhelmed with it? Like, am I really going to finish all of this? You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, people do these things differently. The first Kickstarter I did, I pretty much had almost 100% complete because I didn't want to have to worry about it. When I finally launched the Kickstarter, I had a definite goal in mind to have it done by the Comic-Con. That's what I'm doing this one for, the Salt Lake Comic-Con. The first one I did was back in September 2015, so I wanted to have it ready by then, which I got like the day before in the mail. But the last one I had to redo twice. Like, I failed. The first one was not a success, and I had to redo it, so I kind of lost a month. So I was just, I didn't have a lot of stuff done, but I wanted to make sure, like, I knew I would, if once I give myself a deadline, I knew I would get it done by then. So I just did the Kickstarter at that point, and then you kind of, you update people in the Kickstarter by saying like how much you have done, and with each reward tier you can put a date of when they should expect to receive that. But there are some people who do a Kickstarter without having anything done, like at all.
Yeah, that's like crazy to me.
Yeah, like I've actually backed like 4 or 5 Kickstarters that I haven't seen anything from, and that was like a year ago. So, and like some professionals do that. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, they want to make sure they have some funds, because I mean, I was doing everything myself, so there was really no financial obligation to myself. But some of these creators, if they're hiring pencilers or artists to finish this, you know, they need to, I bet the artists want to know that they're going to actually have some money. So I'm guessing that's why they did it like that. But hopefully this Kickstarter is a success. I'm kind of worried about it. I'm asking for far less money than I did the first time, about half of what I asked for the first time. The first one I went well above my goal, so I thought like, oh, I'll make this, no problem. But it's getting close, and I still have a little ways to go. So crossing my fingers. But it kind of making me rethink of how I'm going to do the continuing issues and how I'm going to do that in the future. But, I mean, the first time I had a lot of family and friends donate money, and I don't expect them to donate money every single time. They're like, oh, you're doing another one? I'm not going to give you more money for that, asshole. So the next ones I may just do for a very small amount, like $5 or $10 goal. And then that way people who actually just want the comic book or original art as part of the rewards can just do that. So I'm not trying to reach a goal, and it's just those who actually want it without feeling obligated just to help me. So I think that's how I'll do it. I'm kind of thinking. Never mind. I don't want to say it.
One thing, in your Kickstarter video, you mentioned that people who don't have the first issue, like how are they going to get it? And you have a reward tier for that. You have it available on Facebook, though, don't you? You can buy it through Facebook for like $5.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to put more stuff to buy. I mean, I need a better online shopping presence, but Facebook does have an option for some of your pages where you can sell things. So yeah, I am selling it on there for only $5, but there is a $5 shipping fee. Just because it costs about to package it, it's about $2.50, and to send it, it's about $2.50. To send it anywhere, if I don't actually hand it to people, a lot of times I sell issues to people and I just hand it to them. They give me money. But if I have to send it, yeah, there's a $5 shipping fee. So $10 will get you the comic book. But I'm going to put more of my prints and stuff available on that I haven't sold at conventions. So I did a print that I thought was going to sell really well at the convention. The Batman versus the Tim Burton
Kermit,
Michael Keaton Batman versus Kermit the Frog. I have a picture of that. It was a Kickstarter reward that I did for my friend who lives in Vegas, Ashley. It was her idea, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to try and sell that. I bet that'll sell like crazy. Nope. I sold maybe 3, and I was only selling that for $5.
you sold 3?
Yeah.
That's
But
better than nothing.
I guess, man, I thought that thing would sell, just especially when I dropped the price down to $5. I'm like, $5? Like, and everybody looked at it, and they're like, that's so funny, that's so crazy. Like, well, fucking buy it.
That's so crazy.
What I discovered at conventions is people like a theme or a gimmick almost when they see artists. You know, you can just go up with a bunch of random stuff, a bunch of different styles. Maybe if you're a good enough artist, that'll be enough to get the attention. But I think you need something that is going to grab people's attention. Hold on. Because some of these artists that I see at these conventions, a lot of the guys that sell a lot of stuff kind of have a gimmick. Like I think I might have told you, but at the video game convention, I was sitting next to a guy he was a professional artist. He's done, what do they do? What do they do in movies?
Layouts. What is it?
Yeah, they do the.
What is it called?
What is that term? Anyways,
panel screen.
No. Anyways, he's done work on movies. He's done stuff in comic
Sequentials?
books.
No.
But all he was drawing there is he drew the character Stitch from Lilo and Stitch in different outfits, like in Wolverine's outfit, as Batman, as Master Chief, as a bunch of different stuff. And people would see that, like, oh, I love Stitch. And then they like, oh my God, look at that. So like they like the concept, and then they see a character that they like. Like one that he gave me was the Punisher here. So that's what I think I want to do with this Kermit versus Batman.
Yeah.
Is do comic book characters versus Muppet characters, but like do the movie versions of the comic book characters. So, you know, I did the Tim Burton Batman versus Kermit. I think I'll do maybe a old school Linda Carter Wonder Woman versus Miss Piggy. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine versus Animal. Maybe, you know who Sam the Eagle is?
Yeah.
Versus Captain America.
Why would you do Sam the Eagle?
Because he's so patriotic.
Oh, Sam the Eagle. Okay.
And just stuff like that. So maybe I'll do a bunch like that, and that'll kind of more capture people's attention. Then they'll buy that. Because what sells the most is I do these realistic portraits of movie characters. Like I've done Star Trek characters, Avengers, Game of Thrones, and that sells pretty well. You know, and you have a bunch of those plastered, and people see that. the art kind of captures them, and then they find the character that they like. I've had people like, oh, do you have so and so from Supernatural, or do you have this person? I'm like, no, so that's what I'm going to kind of focus on, is like doing more themed stuff. A guy, Jake Parker, who is a very well known artist, I met him at a Comic-Con. I follow him. He did a whole bunch of Disney characters, but as robots. I bet that shit sells like nuts, like crazy.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of brainweb. I don't know what we were talking about.
Just
We're going from
Comic-Con experience.
Kickstarter to something.
Your first issue. I don't know.
Whatever. So yeah, check out my Kickstarter, and donate some money or pledge some money. You'll get some awesome stuff, and all your wildest dreams will come true.
We were talking about earlier before the podcast. We were talking about video games and PlayStation VR, and about Resident Evil. How frightening that would be. But Dead Space would be a good game for PlayStation VR.
Oh yes, Dead Space.
I think that would be pretty frightening.
Are they doing a new Dead Space? Have you heard?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Well, let's should get on that shit. So, yeah, I think you need to do one of these conventions with me. Maybe even like the video game con one. Like, if you sit at me, especially it's like, since that table was 8 feet long, there's so much space. I think we would have had enough space, just take each half of it.